Oh, what a great delivery. Was that an inside edge? Yes, he's off. He's gone. What a fantastic start for Ntini and for South Africa. And Australia already on the back foot.
Fantastic start. Little inside edge. The big fish. He goes for one. It's 1 for 1.
Australia 1 for 1. Phil Jakes. Forgotten man of Australian cricket, as far as I'm concerned, anyway. 10 seconds left, 2 down. Wow, what a start for Ntini. As Allan Donald just said, he's got his line absolutely right. First over, and it's telling.
This is Ntini when he's in good form, and a good catch from the man with the buckets there. Oh, he goes for naught. It's 1 for 2.
So, Damian Martin now to the crease. Hooked up in the air, there's a man under it. Is this 3 down? Yes, it is. And Ntini takes his third. Martin goes. Australia in all sorts of trouble.
Damian Martin, he goes for 4. It's 5 for 3.
Michael Clark then. Or is it? Yes, it is. Michael Clark comes to the wicket.
That's out. That's got the line. That's a huge net. Short outside off stump, short dish outside off stump, going for the big booming drive on the up stuff. Have another look at it.
Well, he's ripped the heart out of this top order. Would you believe it? Australia is 7 for 4. And Bracken, strike rate of 100. He left out that a bit.
Well, that should have gone. Makhaya Ntini has picked up his ball.
Brilliant stuff. It was only a question of time. Nathan Bracken departs. And straight on. And the easiest of catches to Boucher. Bracken gone for 10, 86 for 9. The last man in, Stuart Clark. Whoever had thought that Australia, you can only say, on very good batting conditions, 96 for 9. I'm sure they can't believe the luck either. Watson's now decided to play a few shots. Hey, there it is. That's all 6. That's 6. That's 6. Done and dusted. Man of the match.
Oh man, I just had to go there. I just had to start like that. Good evening, South Africa. Good evening, world, and good evening, Africa. And yeah, we are here Monday evening, 6 o'clock. The Real Dialogue. As you know, we are having none other than our boy Makhaya, the Mdingi Express, Ntini. He's with us. I don't even need to make any further due introduction. He's going to be joining me now. There he is, the Mdingi Express.
Hello,
Thank you for joining us. I just had to start like that.
You're bringing memories, man. You're bringing memories. Those are great memories, I'm telling you.
Can you still remember that match?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. You know, no one else has done it. That record is mine.
I know. We're gonna be talking about those things. We're gonna be talking about it. It looks like we already have people that have joined us. Before I start and say anything, let me I know how busy you are. Thank you for putting this hour aside and honoring us with this invitation and being with us on the Real Dialogue. We really appreciate having you, Makhaya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, man. No problem.
Okay, thanks so much. Now, I did not even do the introduction because time was taken by by the match that we put it there. But hey, we here on the Real Dialogue, as I mean, you and I, we've spoken about this. We don't just celebrate, we don't just honor, we don't just capture people that were at their peak or are in their peak of their various careers, but we spend time with people that understand that success in all its varied forms is meant to be there so that we can serve others. And I know you embody that, my friend. I know that you embody that. And we're going to talk about your life. We're going to talk about your life, all the records that have been broken. And we're going to spend some time on the Lord's experience and that 10-weekend haul. But before we get to there, it must have started somewhere. Mdingi, outside of King Williamstown. Talk to me about that. Yeah. Talk to me about your childhood, your growing up.
Wow, you know, I think the hour is going to be too short for us if I start.
I know.
You know, sometimes. I know. But I think sometimes we tend to really forget, you know, how we were raised, and then the people that they were close to us, and then people that they really made means, you know, for us, and then they really break boundaries that they can, you know, make sure that our growth, it's something that it stays with us, and it's something that we will remember it until we go 6 feet under as well. You know, growing up in a village of Mdingi, as you mentioned, that's outside King Williamstown, it was, you know, a joy. It was a village that cares by, you know, with the small millions of it, or even less. Let me say, not even say millions. Let me say small hundreds, you know, of people that they actually living in that smaller village outside King Williamstown called Mdingi. You know, at times we take things for granted. You know, when we get to the position of where we are now, we tend to forget, you know, where we come from. You know, but some of us, unfortunately, we cannot do that.
Sure.
Because especially if you were not raised by your own biological parents, you were raised by extended families. You know, you tend to look back and ask yourself this small question and says, if I was raised by my own biological parents, will I be where I am today? You know, and then you say to yourself, if I didn't, you know, stick by the rules of the family that was raising you, will you be here today? You know, all of those questions, they come across to us, you know, as we getting older and older, and then we find ourselves in a position that you can call, or maybe not put it call, you can point and say, that's mine. Yeah, I'm not at that place that I stay in. Is not a place that I've actually been borrowed. It's a place that I can call my home. My kids can call it home as well. You know, so those are the things that they always remind us that it never underestimate the value of the person that loved you unconditionally. That person made every single mean that you should be equal as his own biological kids. You know, and then I think, you know, I was so grateful as well that I think, you know, Enoch Ntini made me one of his own biological kids. And then I think he didn't really, you know, care about his own kids. He made sure that I feel comfortable under his wing, and then I feel, you know, welcomed in his house. You know, so those are the things that you know, they really made a lot of difference in my growing up.
Sure.
You know, I think the teaching of respect, the teaching of being able to know the person that is next to you as well is as equal as you. You know, you know, when the Bible says love everyone like you love yourself, that on its own sticked with me. And then he has never go away because I became a famous person, if I can put it that way. I became a well-known person, if I can put it that way. I became, someone who has things,
Sure.
who can be able to afford a home, who can be able to drive a nice car, who can send his kids to the better schools, where we were not fortunate at our growing up, whereby we can go to those fancy schools that you can quickly learn the word of English, from the early age, So the suffering of us, it made us a better people, if I can put it that way. And then I think, not just only the suffering, but I think the village on its own, where you can be able to go to your next door neighbor and sit and wait until they actually dish up.
Sure.
So when they dish up, they're not just going to dish up for their own kids, they'll dish up for you as well.
Yeah.
So really, it gave me a lot of, I would say, a platform of the older person, or a platform that I can be able to understand someone who are in need. You see? So those are kind of things that I can put it right in front of you, that I think, growing up in a village is not a bad thing at all. It's actually one of the greatest things that any child could have, or could able to understand the background of a human being. Because look, when you get raised in the rural areas, there's no fancy clothes, there's no fancy houses, there's no fancy food. Like you eat McDonald's anytime you feel like. No, you have to cook your own food. You are able to wash dishes. You are able to clean your own house, wash your own socks. So those are kind of things that I think they made a massive difference to us as a youth. And then now all of a sudden, when you have your own house, you don't have to employ anybody, because you can do all of those things yourself. So a household chores, they are nothing to you because you are used to them. You are able to go down in your knees and wipe the floor, than using a mop or putting your clothes to the washing machine. Those are the lives of our young kids now. They can't even wash their own underwears. So those are kind of things that we appreciate. Growing up in a village. And then I think the good thing about our villages, and then the good thing that we were taught as well, was you should know every single person in your village. You should know every single surname in your village. Because when someone comes to your village and need help, you can be able to take him straight to the house that is looking for, or the family that is looking for. So those things, they were not even something that you have to think about it. It's a given. That was a duty. That was your duty to do so. You would stop, even you were busy as I don't know how much you were, but when someone comes to your gate and need help, you will leave whatever that you were doing to have that particular person and attend that. You will never be in a position where you point. You say, oh, no, you're going to go left and right and go there, and that's where you come up with. No, you take the person there.
Yeah, you go with them. That's true.
And then you knock. Your servants, good morning, good afternoon, molweni. So that's how our villages were.
Sure.
So it was a matter of I think we were blessed, if I can put it that way. We were blessed that we were raised in the villages.
Definitely, Makhaya. And we got to touch that. I must look. Let me confess. When I was preparing for this conversation, I'm having interacted with you, having had conversations with you, and one of the things that Look, I'm a country boy. I grew up in Port Elizabeth, Ekasi, and
Yeah,
so I know. Don't say it. Don't say it.
mina bengingabathe musebenzela qala ngelitshe wena. Tina, Tina, we were not saying ngiyaqaya mina sebejonga bra. Basasokolisana. Uyinike intonga yayo uthathe yakuthi masilwe bra. Ungabuza into ndaqala ngelitshe, jonga wena qala ngelitshe ba.
And one of the first things, Makhaya, I picked up from the first time, I don't know if you still remember the first long conversation that we had, and one of the first things I said to you is that you've got a village intelligence. I don't know, you've got a way of connecting how you grew up with life and wisdom, and unfortunately, a foreign language like we are using now, English, does not do justice to some of the concepts that you shared with me. And so I was thinking to myself, should we have this conversation in Xhosa or should we have it in English? But I understand that many of our people, some of them are outside the country. Those who are here, they speak other languages. So we will try this English thing, but they are missing out.
We can mix it. We can mix it. We can mix it.
Why not?
You know, we need to be we need to be multilingual. We can't be biased, you know, and close up.
Sure.
Because we're staying in a you know, the English is a suburb thing, man.
Sure.
That's English. Suburbs. You know, when you go to the shop and say, excuse me, you know,
Okay, all right. I don't want us to miss this.
Yeah.
I don't want us to miss this. So you grow up, Utata or Enoch Ntini, and then I don't know, it's fate or what, or God's sense of humor. 5 years before you come, and I got to discover that Utata Enoch loved cricket as well.
Oh yeah, he was a batsman.
Yeah,
he played Vakas Rand. Yeah, yes, yeah, another language like Vakas Rand.
and he loved it.
Oh, you're talking about loving it. He lived it. Yeah. You know, my dad, you know, I remember, you know, the Makhaya Kusha period. Yeah? I remember my dad, even though that we were not playing cricket then, he would be the first one to wake up. And then he would go all the way down to the end of our villages, waking up everyone.
Sure.
You know, shouting and say, wake up, get ready. You know, we will watch all of that, you know, because we didn't know anything. We were just, hey, look, where are the cows? You know, look after the cows. You know, so my dad was a funny man. You know, I remember my dad used to take a couple of drinks. But one thing that I really, really, you know, admire about him, you know, when he sees me, he'll be sober. You know? And then he knew that I'm the only person who can say no to him. I'm the only person who can stand in front of him and says, Dad, let's go home. And then he will not even resist. He will pick up and then whatever that he was carrying and say, come, let's go home, son. You know, so those kind of things, they still linger. And then I think God has made a massive, you know, a dent in my life by taking him before I started my career.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, he will have been one of the guys that they will have experienced every single country that I've been to. Sure. And every single, you know, experience that I've experienced, you know, because for me, I think I owe him a lot. You know, I owe him a lot, and then I think, you know, when you look at your life, where it is now, and then you look back, and then you ask yourself, how did I manage, you know, to become the person that I am?
Sure.
And then hereby, I was not his biological child.
Sure. Sure.
You know, so
Sure.
those kind of small things, they still linger, you know, in my thoughts every day. You know, and then I said, if I was the person who believes in rituals, I think every day I would do things for him.
Sure. Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
but okay, unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so
look, Makhaya,
yeah,
it just speaks of the wisdom of this classic and timeless proverb. It takes the village and to raise a child. But when we were speaking earlier on today, you said something that was very. I told you I'm going to raise it. I thought that was powerful, and I'm glad you raised it. But you said it takes the child to know the village.
I think I've already answered that question for you.
Yes, you have. But
when I said to you, it takes a child to know the village, because as I said to you earlier on, that you needed to know every single family. You needed to know every single surname, and then you needed to know everyone in your village, so that when someone whom is lost, you will be able to take them to wherever that he needs to go. So that was the reason when I said to you, it takes a child to know a village. You know, because you know, I remember, you know, when probably there's a lack of food in our household, and then you will be sent to the family member that stays right at the end of the village. You know, so you will go there and ask a bowl of meal, you know, and come back, and then when your family get better, you know, or have a good month, you will take the same bowl and take it back to the same family that you borrowed it from. So that's how then the boy has to know the village. You know, not the village. It takes a village to raise a boy. It takes a boy to know the village. You know, so by doing all of that and understanding the cultures and being able to not to be shy to go to your neighbor and sit until they dish up. You know, that's on its own. It's a part of your growing up, and then that on its own is a part of you understanding the people that you are living with. That there is no shyness, and then there's no judgment. There's no judgment. The reason why I say that there is no judgment, because you might find out in that particular family, they don't have a boy. So you become the boy of that family. Your parents, they would send you to go and help that family, you know, to look after everything that the boy will do in that particular family. You know, so that's how our rural, you know, was so united. You know, when I said to you, there was no judgment, because you can be able to descend and go and stay in that particular house, you know, and look after that family, regarding of making sure that the kettles, the horses, the goats, you know, they come home in time. You know, so those kind of things, you know, they really made a massive difference to us. And then within all of that, let me say, you know, uyazazi mos ezanto zethu zasesikolweni, omnye ukuthi kwi-athletics, omnye ukuthi kwi-rugby, you know, omnye ukuthi ku-music, ne? But within all of that, you don't have a shirt, you know, to go to the choir, ne? You don't have shoes for you to be able to go to athletics, ne? You don't have shorts for you to be able to go and play rugby. But because of the village, they don't have that kind of judgment, because they can loan each other anything. You are able to go to a family member, even though it's not your actually family member, and ask, can I use your son's shorts? Can I use your son's running shoes? You know? So we were able to to share, if I can put it that way. That's a good word. We were able to share whatever that the other person does not have, for that person to look good, of whatever that he was doing.
Sure.
And then after you finish with that, you wash the clothes that you were borrowed from, and then you send it back clean.
Sure. Now, Makhaya, it is everybody's. Now, here is this a village boy, barefooted, heading.
You're quite right.
And then talk to me to the first. I mean, I remember. I think I read, or you may have mentioned it. I don't know, but the first time you guys were called to try this cricket thing, apparently it was you and your friend.
We were two friends of mine. We were three of us.
Now talk to me about the first experience. How did that happen? Take me from there to Dale.
Wow. Okay. That what I think when you say God has his own plan for everyone.
Sure.
If I can put it in a very simple manner, I will say I was at the right time. No, I'll put it that way. I was at the right place at the right time. So thinking back, I think they used to call it Baker's mini cricket.
Yes, I remember.
Where Greg Hayes, he started with Kaya Majola with Dr. Ali Baka, where they were going all around the villages to look for the black cricketers.
Sure.
And then they started to go to the schools, and then by the schools they were, just introduce this kind of a game. But because we knew the game, but we never played the game. The game was only played in December, and then that's it. And then we will wait until another December, because the people that were working in the mines and all of them, they're going to the whatever Johannesburg, and then they come back in December holidays, and then that's when the tournaments will start.
Yeah.
So for us, it was something that we would never put our minds into it. So when that day, we were just crossing the ground, which is we play rugby in the same ground,
Sure.
And then as we passing by, we saw a lot of cars and a lot of kids, playing. And then we stood, about, I would say, 100 meters away, from them. But as we were standing there, one of our friends, younger brother, was playing there. And then he called us. In actual fact, he shouted to us and said, "Come and join us." And then Raymond Boy, and Chris Tadu and Nick Selani, they actually welcomed us. They asked our age, and then we says we are 14. And says, "Okay, guys, you're a little bit older than the team, the kids that we are looking for, that we are actually coaching. But we're not gonna say, don't join us. Join us." And then they give us, ball each. And then we started running in like anyone else, boom, and then we throw the ball, and then all of a sudden they ask us to come back the following week. And then I say to them, "No, I can't come here the following week again, because my parents will go mad, For me to be allowed to come and join them, they need to come to my house and ask the permission." So they never resisted. They actually went. Wow. They get to my house, and then I saw them coming. And then I pretend like I know nothing, because I never report, that I coming to ask for permission for me to join them. So when they came in, my mom called me, because my dad was already passed on. My mom called me and says, "Do you know these people?" I says, "Yes, I know." And then I says, "No, they're asking you to join them. Do you want to join them?" And then I said, "Mom, I would love to join them, but what about, the households, to do, And then she says, No. They must tell you what time do you need to be there, and then they must release you earlier, so that you can go and fetch water. You can be able to, to collect the cows and all kind of stuff. So it works perfectly. I was so excited,
I'm sure.
but within the excitement, the question always come back: what are you gonna wear? You're a barefoot person.
Sure.
You only have the shoes that you have are school shoes. You can't use the school shoes playing cricket. And when you play cricket, you need to have white clothes. You don't have those kind of things. What are you gonna use? But we used to roll up whatever that you have, but whatever pants that you're wearing, it's okay. You are running in, you're having fun and enjoying yourself. So that on its own, it actually growed. It became something that I started to enjoy it and started to believe. And then because that they're around you, they say, hey, you can make a future out of this. And this is what kind of a future that I made of playing cricket? Because I'm playing this thing just to have fun. There's no future in this thing. And then we're just playing. We're kids. We know nothing. And then things turn very quickly into the direction of being chosen. Being one of those kids that I get chosen to go to Australia, and then it was another tick, on the box. And then the worst thing with listen to this, the worst thing within all of that, I'm a rural boy, ne?
Sure.
Are you gonna take a rural boy and send it to Australia without even him knowing how to speak the word of English? Hey man, I'm a rural boy. I know nothing about English. I only know yes or no. Even it doesn't matter where did I say. Those little things, they really they didn't matter to me.
Sure.
Because everything was about enjoying yourself, have fun. Being sent to Australia was a great achievement, as a rural boy. Even though, it became a difficult thing because of, I will say this, the communication was so broken.
Yeah.
They ended up using action, to translate whatever that they want me to do,
Sure.
which was not a bad thing.
Sure.
Because I knew it that English is not there.
Sure.
But I am going wherever they taking me. I'm there. I want to go because they say it's cricket.
Yeah.
Australia has been known of cricket, and then I started watching the West Indies. I started enjoying, the likes of Viv Richardson, Marco Marshall. Wow. If I can go back and talk about the West Indies in those days, I was one of those one that you remember the days that when you go and watch TV with your neighbor, you watch Malcolm Knight, and then you come back, all of you are saying everything that was happening there. That's the all of you end up saying exactly what was happening. So it was how fun it was to play cricket. Being taken away, and then in the same thing when you're talking about the village, the people of my village, they went all out, to make sure that I don't suffer in Australia. They collect some money among themselves. Serious.
Wow.
They collect some money right through the village, and then they brought it at home, and then they say, we don't know what Australia is, because do you remember that? Do you remember that most when you used to see the aeroplane passing your village?
Yeah.
And then you look at it and they started shouting, no, 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 no. And then, and it, those were kind of things that we grew up knowing, not even thinking in your mind that you'll be inside of that thing that passed in your village. you know. So when they say to me, you're gonna go to that thing that always passes your house, whatever, even though it's not on top of your house, it's very far away from you, but it looks
I
like
do.
it's actually passing your
Yeah,
house.
I do.
Yeah. So when went to Australia, yes, it became we were four of us that were selected around South Africa. And then I was part of that four, and then I stayed there for 2 weeks in Australia. I got trained. I came back. The moment I came back, I got a scholarship to Dale. That's another heavy load. And then I
Sure.
remember that. I
No
remember
English.
that as well. No English, bruh. I had Manok Kiri with me and all of that. And then every time I get to the class, they're asking me, "What was this Nopkiri of yours?" I says, "Don't worry, it's mine. He's my friend, so it doesn't go
You
away.
took a did you
It's
take a Nopkiri to Dale?
Nopkiri. Yes, I had my Nopkiri with me. He was, hey, I'm telling you. So it was fun. But I think the Nopkiri was one of the greatest thing that I had at school, because I was never bullied. Even though I was struggling to understand, or the English, even if in a class, when the teachers were teaching us, I would really struggle to get things together. But within all of that, one guy saw that, and then this guy is a farm boy. Mark Wainwright. Mark Wainwright decided to leave his own desk and come and sit next to me.
Wow.
So this guy, he has noticed that I don't have books. That's number one. I have one, what is it, A4, ne? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had one A4.
Mm.
That's the only book I have, because listen to this, I couldn't afford anything. I couldn't afford the uniform. I couldn't afford books. I couldn't afford. In actual fact, I was going to school empty-handed.
Mm.
And then the uniform that I was wearing at school, I got it from Lost and Found.
Wow.
They had to go to Lost and Found to find a school uniform for me.
Wow.
But it was okay, because I
Mm.
know that there's nowhere else. I could go and get the money to buy the school uniform,
Mm.
or being able to afford anything that the school was looking for. In a way, those kind of things. It was part of a learning curve, and then I think it was part of a growing up. So I stayed at school,
Sure.
even though I will not being able to pass. For the first 6 months was hard.
Sure.
To be able to understand what the teachers is talking about, because there's no one who will translate.
Mm.
There's no one who will tell you that, okay, the meaning of this word is this and that.
Mm.
Being able to struggle to study for a test, being able to study for, I would say, lack of communication. So I used to communicate with my Nopkiri and say to my Nopkiri, hey, should anything happen, or someone who comes and disturb our peace, we deal with him. we
But
deal with him.
let's quickly move to your. I'm gonna come back. To your life personally. There are some things
I
that people
told
don't.
you. I told you the hour is nothing, man.
I know, but I want to touch. Don't worry about the hour. We'll definitely go over that. I want to touch, and then we come across Makhaya on the big platform,
Yeah.
and I think that's where the country then started to notice there is this guy from Mdingi. Of course, a lot had been happening in the development the under 20 and that. But I think the country got to wake up to you while you were donning the Protea jersey. And then of course they say that you are the first. I don't know what they mean by that. Ethnically black. All I know is
South African.
Yes, all I know is that you are the first person that speaks my language that was wearing that thing. I know Paul Adams was there.
Paul Adams and Herschel Gibbs.
and Herschel Gibbs. I appreciate those and I love them and Herschel especially. And but all I know is that there is this guy whose name rings so familiar in my tongue. There is this guy who knows my clan, who and let me tell you, and it's not just me, you made me own cricket for the first time. Line as well. Now talk to me now. Here you are, village boy. Surely there must be some self-doubt, insecurities, world stage. Talk to me about that experience, my friend.
When you're talking about the self-doubt, I think I was never being in a position of not believing in myself.
Sure.
If you remember that I say cricket was fun, because I took it like everybody who plays cricket, you just want to have fun,
Sure.
Sure.
So
I never took cricket as something that is a competition.
Sure.
I took cricket that when we wear the same clothes,
sure, we're on
we
the
are the
same
same color. We are the same color. It doesn't matter where you come from, because we have one vision, and
Sure.
our vision is to win games. Whatever that happens after the game, it was none of my business.
Sure.
I will see you tomorrow, and then we'll be wearing the same clothes.
Sure.
For you to go to a different direction after the game is finished, that's yours. That's your take. You're the one who wants to go that way. I'm gonna go wherever that I get taken. The experience of playing South Africa, it started ring a bell when people started talking about their accolades. When they say, "Oh, okay, you if you play and then you take certain wickets, that's your accolade. If you play the certain games and then you take the certain wickets," all of a sudden I started to understand, the rankings.
Sure.
I never thought there was such thing as rankings in cricket.
Sure. Play cricket.
Yeah, I was just playing cricket.
Yeah.
For me to take a wicket, it was something that it became a joy.
Sure.
It became a joy, and then you can see, people enjoying the moments as well. So as you, so it grow. I end up growing into it, and then it became one of the things that every time that I wear the green and gold, I want to be man of the match. Ne? I want to be on that board. It doesn't matter how many wickets that I took, but as long my name is there, so those are the things that they were my targets.
Sure.
Is to make sure that my name is on the board. My name is there, regardless of what I do. If I took a catch, that my name will be on the board. If I had a ball in my hand and I take a wicket, my name will be that. It will be on that board. So getting an accolade and being recognized, it became something that was second fourth, if I can put it in the right way. It was not a first come, and then making money out of it. I end up. Let me tell you this story, because I end up having this agency, but it was Hansi's agency. Sure. This guy go and look for sponsors. It comes to me and says, "Listen, I've got a sponsor for you," and then the sponsor will give you the money. And then I said to him, "What I'm gonna do with money?" And then this guy looks at me and says, "The money is yours." And says, "No, I don't want it." You must keep it. And then he says, what do you mean I must keep it? I says, I don't want your money. You know, you must keep it. And then this guy, he says, I do not understand this guy. He goes to Hansi and say to Hansi, Hansi, what must I do with this guy? He says he doesn't want money. Because I never thought that money is it has to be the first thing in our minds. You know, because I never grew up knowing money. I didn't know money. You know? So why will I be able to now all of a sudden I'm taking money from people?
That you don't know.
You know, so I don't know money. And then this guy started laughing. He laughed and just walked away and says, and he looks at me and says, are you serious? I says, I'm that serious. I don't want money. I'm okay. I'm getting everything for free. Why will I look for money now? No, I'm having fun here. I'm enjoying myself. You know, so I don't want your money. So going back to our story, and then as you know, cricket, then I end up, you know, getting more to understanding on a bigger scale. You know, playing Australia, playing West Indies. You go and play against England, and then those countries, they end up understanding you because now all of a sudden you become a threat.
Sure.
You're becoming that person who can terrorize, you know, their batting order, you know. So, you know, and then all of a sudden and then your name becomes bigger and bigger. And then people, you know, if you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you get, you know, that recognition, you know, it's like, hi, are you Mr. Ntini? And says, yes, I am. And says, well done, you know. But for me, it didn't mean anything.
Sure.
It was just a game. It was just a game that I enjoyed to play, you know. But okay, as you grow and then you end up understanding that, okay, now you need to know money, how to handle money. And then now all of a sudden it rings a bell and I says, if I had to take the money that guy was giving me at that time, 1997, listen to this, wait. You know, I would have bought the whole whatever street of mine.
Wow.
That how you know how because when 1997, 100,000, it was $1 million.
Sure.
It was $1 million because I remember buying a house for my mom, and the house cost me 25,000 rand. And then I think of that 25,000 rand. This is a 4-room house.
Sure.
And then imagine getting over the 100,000 rand that I didn't take to the guy. I didn't take that guy. I would have bought the whole street. Yeah, but you know, I think that was a good thing that I didn't take it. You know, because certain things probably they would have gone wrong. You know, and instead of now focusing of what I'm doing, I would have gone, you know, and end up becoming that guy who's big-headed and then not knowing what to do, what is, you know, the reason for you to be here, you know, and then not being able to, you know, to set those goals for yourself.
Sure.
So I think.
And speaking about goals, I'm sorry for interjecting. Speaking about goals, I remember when we were talking, I don't know, about a year ago, and then I was saying to you, man, talk to me again about the Lord's experience. You know, the 10 wickets. And then you said to me, you know what? I had actually, we were there a couple of years before, 4 years or 5 years?
Yeah. No, 4 years. I had to wait for 4 years.
Now, talk to me about when that decision was made, the 4 years, and you coming back, and your name still being there. Talk to me about that. Look, we could be speaking about so many of your accolades and your awards, but of course we don't have time for that. But that one, we need to speak about that one.
You know, and I think the same thing that happens. You know, myself, Monando Haywood, you know, Paul Adams and Herschel Gibb and Mark Boucher.
Sure.
You know, we were selected to join cricket. You know, Cricket South Africa was touring to England.
Sure.
You know, when they selected us, they actually said to us, "You guys this is your learning curve. You know, we are taking you because we can see that you can be able to play for this country in the years to come. You know, so you are not, don't think that you'll be playing, but take this as a learning curve for you guys. You get to know the culture, you know, of the team. It was fun. But you know, the one thing that really hit me, it's when we get to Lords. And then the day that we arrive there, and then we get to this changing room, and then they say visitors changing room. And then I look at the wall. There's every single person, you know, who made, you know, a history in that particular country. Because by, you know, either you score 100 or you take a fiver, you take a tenfer, you know, your name get written there. So, and then I look around and I says, where are the bowlers? And then I went to the other side, and then exactly where I'm sitting, on top of me was the bowling list. You know, all the bowlers that they pick up, 10 fuzz. And then I look at them, and then all the way from the top and then to the bottom. And then there's no South African. And then I said, there is no way that, listen to this. And then I said to this guy, and then one of the guys, my coach, and he says, there is no way that there will never be not even a single South African in this bowling list. And I said, if I had a chance to come back in this country, and then I actually get selected to play in this particular ground, I want to leave my name here. I am going to leave my name, not even on the other side. I want to leave my name on the 10th. And then this guy looks at me and says, what do you mean? I says, no, I'm going to be the first one to leave my name here. And then I'm going to be the first South African to do so. And then this guy says, hey, are you dreaming? I says, I'm telling you, if I get a chance to come in England and play for South Africa, I'll leave my name here. They didn't believe me. They didn't believe me. So 4 years later, back in England, and then I get selected. And I said, my hero is here, Malcolm Mashta. And then he's the second last, and then I want to be just underneath him. Yep. And then when that happened, and then I said to them, I told you so, that my name will be here. It doesn't matter. 4 years later. And then I am still the only one on the bowling list. No one else.
That's my boy. I promise. Look, but and that's the thing about and that's the whole point of this platform, is that there's no limit. There's no limit to you, African child. There's no limit. There's no limit.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
You know, I think, you know, from our kids, I want to say that because I have a boy child, which is 20 now, and he started playing cricket.
We'll talk about
I always say to him, I say, listen, if you don't compete with anyone, you will go way too far. The problem with our children, the moment they start competing with someone else, then he tend to forget himself. He tend to forget how good he is because he's worried about someone else who can be better than him. So I'll say to him, you know, your road is your road. As long you don't fast track yourself, as long you're not allowing anybody to fast track you, then you'll go far. So the things that I talked to Tando. You know, he's got the best coach of all time. His father. He's not someone who's gonna promise him the world and say, you know, in 5 years' time you're gonna be like this. In 10 years' time you're gonna be on top of your career. And then I said to him, if you look after yourself, fitness is number one. Make sure that you put extra miles in your training. If you train hard, and then you must always be 10% ahead than anyone else. That 10%, it gives you so much opportunity. If you don't perform today, you know that tomorrow you can come back and do better. You see, if you are equal with your fitness, or you are equal with your preparation with anyone else, when you don't perform, you must know that you are going 10% behind the rest. So you always have a catch-up, a problem. But if you are 10% ahead, you don't need to be catching up. You're always progressing more, because you look back and you know exactly where your footsteps were.
Sure.
So you are able to wake up and move on quickly than someone who needs to catch up. Sure. That 10% gives you so much advantage than anyone else. So those kind of things, they need to get into your mind. And then, as long you are not competing with someone else, compete with yourself.
Makhaya.
Compete with yourself. Cry if it's needed to cry, but don't cry in front of everyone. No one must know what are you going through. That is one of the weapons that I used myself as a cricketer. I would cry while I'm running. I would cry while I'm in my own room, because everything I could see that, hey, you under pressure, but you becoming under pressure, the only one thing that can help you is either, if you are a bowler, let the ball talk. If you're a batsman, let your bat talk. Those two things, they must talk for you.
Sure.
And then they will answer every single one that is doubting you. Sure. Because of that 10%. Because of that 10%. The 10% that you're always ahead of them, that's the 10% they should not know. And that's the 10% will make you the greater man. And the 10% will make you a greater person with everyone who surrounded you. So what I'm trying to say to you, our kids, they need to understand that they are under pressure no matter what. They will be forever being the first one to be questioned than anyone else. But because of they have that 10% that they're playing around with, the wall that they're building is the wall that has no crack. So when the next person that is looking at you, he must look in that wall, and that wall must never be the one that they can be able to see through. It must be the wall that is solid. That wall is the wall that you can be able to cry on the other side of it, but they will never know, because you are the happiest guy around them. When they look at you, they have no doubt that you are happy. But you are so much under pressure, and then the pain that you are in, nobody else can ever understand it. Nobody else. But you need to find a way that you can be able to beat the man that is next to you. The man that next to you must compete with you, not you competing with them. He must compete with you. No, it's a serious note. The man that is next to you, he must compete with you, not you competing with them. No, I remember all of this. I remember all of this because I remember all of this because when it comes to fitness, they will all line up, and then I'll be standing just far away. I will never be in a position. Okay, I want to be on the first starting lineup. All of them, they run away from me because they know that I wanna put them under pressure from word go. Nobody wants to be on my group.
By the way, with regards, I've been, same gym with you. With regards to that, in fact, somebody has just commented now. Panda Kamate says, "I have cycled with Maduna. His fitness levels are on top, and he's the boss of his. I expect him is super fit." That is so true. It is.
Yeah.
And
as I told you before we start as well, I just came back from our 50K cycling.
Yeah.
So
look,
yeah,
the insight. Look what you've just shared with me. Has just explained. You've just put everything in context, especially with the developments that have been happening. Because a lot of people saying, "But why is Makhaya only speaking now?" But we thought he was happy, and such that now you've just given the context, and a lot of people will never know how we as a people know how to put a face. We know how to give the smile that you want to see in us. We've been taught like that.
we give them what they call it, judge the book by its cover.
Sure.
So when they're looking at you and then they say that this guy is the happiest chef of all time. Yes, I was happy because I was actually making sure that making sure that everything that I touch, it turns to gold.
Yeah.
Because I could never be in a position of saying, show me I'm miserable.
Sure.
Why would I be miserable? Because my life is at stake. So I was a happy child, and then I am still the happy child.
No, you are.
But the problem.
In fact, let me share this. Let me share this with the viewers. This guy got. He was making so much noise at Beacon Bay Vegetative, and that's why we're exercising. And it's like, no. This guy is making so much noise. So he had to go to another gym now. And look, I always love your energy, man. I always love your energy. But it's huge. But there is something that is even huger than your energy. It is your heart, your love for people, your love for people. But before we speak about people, there's another side of you that people don't know, and that is you as a father. And you've just spoken about tandem now. And I do want you to reflect on that. How was it like when you were there? And you spoke about seeing his name as well on the board. When he took his first wicket, and how nervous he was. And you said something very powerful earlier on about that he's got the best coach in the world, and that is so true. Yeah. Not only are you the best because you are his father, but you're also the best because you are the best at what you do. And and the beautiful thing is that also you're not interested in his success so that you can make money out of him. You want him to succeed because he's your son.
No. I think if I can cut you, within all of that, I think raising a boy child.
Sure.
Every single father wants the best out of them, because I've got two kids.
Sure.
I think my children, they know that we never pressurize them. We'll never choose of what they need to do.
Sure.
But the best part within all of that, they know that each and every single thing that they do, they've got a full support from us. So that's the greatest thing. And then I think each and every single parent that is out there, the only thing that you can have a happy family, it's for you as a parent to support your children. When they look at you, they must be able to come back and say, what do you think of this? Not them going to the friends or outside, your boundary and ask for advices. Because they will never get the best advices outside than the advice they will have got at home. So when my children, when Tando decided to play cricket, because Tando played every single sport, at school.
Sure.
He played tennis, he played soccer, but one thing that has stopped him was rugby. I said to him, if you play soccer, that's another sport that you can get injured. If you play tennis, you are on your own, which is good. If you play cricket, you are on your own, which is even good. So try to choose a sport that you can be able to just be you. And then he played hockey as well. So he had so much to choose on. So within all of that, I was there.
Sure.
I didn't say that I can only come there when you play cricket. No, every single thing that he was doing, we were there to support him. So until he get to the age of saying, I am going to play cricket, and then his cricket started as a batsman. If you go to Selborne Primary, he's got hundreds, that he has scored. You go past the notice board of Selborne, his name is all over it. He's got accolades, and then he goes, beyond that, and then he leaves Selborne, he goes to Cape Town, Wynberg, and then he gets there, he still excels. The good thing about all of this, I'm not involved.
Sure.
You see, I'm involved behind closed doors.
Sure.
When he comes home, I'll tell him that, okay, this is what you need to do. And then he will go and practice that. You see, and then he comes back the next day, he says, I did practice that, and then he works. I'm not there, which is the greatest thing. So there's no one who will say that I've coached my son. No. My son coached himself.
Wow.
That it behind closed doors, I'll watch him, and then I'll correct him and say, this is what you need to watch off for you to be successful on anything that you want to do. Be careful of A, B, C, D. With your cricket, this is what you need to be, look for, and being able to achieve A, B, C, D, you need to do it this way, than the other way. So those kind of things. And I think I love about him, he will go to his coach and say, I want to do this like this. He will never go to me and says, no, my dad says I must do it this way. He'll say, let's try it this way. He's almost have a way of making the person that is look after him not to feel that he's not doing his job. He will say, I'm comfortable this way. Let's try and train it this way. So this is the way I feel comfortable of. So that was one of the most important things for me, to do for him. Not to put him under pressure and say, this is what I want you to do. If you want to follow my footsteps, this is what you need to do. And then I always say to him, I says, my book is closed. My one is closed. Long time, it's been concreted. You will never see it again. You need to open your one. But by doing that, I am the one who's going to be just behind you and guide you, and protect you for not going in a wrong direction. That's the only thing that I will do. But this is your journey. My journey is done. Makhaya is just the name. The surname is just something that you are carrying. Now you are Tando. You as Tando, you need to make sure that you open your own journey. And then that journey of yours, it has so much love in it. Because you have someone who has played the game, who knows every ins and out of it. The downfalls he knows. And then I even say to him, just remember one thing. When you fall, I'll be right there to pick you up and say, come, go again. So that's the only thing.
And please, Makhaya, tell him that if the agency offers him money, he should not say he does not want it.
No. Not our kids. No. Our kids, they love money. They grew up in a money places now. So I think for them, that would be the first thing they want. They do not care about anything else. When you say, okay, no, I've got clothes for you, say, no, keep the clothes. I've got money. Oh, yes, put in my bank account.
That's so true. You know what? I mean, just this afternoon, for me, just allow me to share this with the viewers, and then we're going to go through some of the messages, beautiful messages that are here that I want you to. And I mean, I was speaking with you. I was like, hey man, Makhaya, the last time I checked, your schedule was you were exercising from 7:30 until 10 o'clock in the morning. And then what's up now with you in the afternoon? And then you said to me, no, the reason because my child has gone back to school. And so
he's writing exams.
Yes, writing exams. So I need to make sure that he's available, that I'm available. I thought I need to share that you've changed your program and your schedule so that it fits that of the exam times for your child. That is just
family comes first. We need to understand that, it doesn't matter how busy we are because of our happiness of health, but when it comes to family, everything stops.
Sure.
Everything stops. Your children, the safety of your children, and then and your children to be there on time, it all depends on you as a parent. I think, for me, I'm in a very good position whereby I can take my own children to school and pick them up as well, not being depending on someone else, so that's a lucky part,
Sure.
And then I think for them as well, they are so lucky that they know that there's no one else who pick them up.
Sure.
From school, they coming home, from home, they going to school, so I'm always there, 30 minutes before they come out of school. That for me on its own, they know exactly where daddy is. They know daddy will never be late,
Sure.
And then they know that they will never be late at school, so those things, those are our responsibilities. We need to secure our children, so that they become one of those kids that they can really depend on you as a parent, not being late, not being there for them. It doesn't matter how busy we are able to change our own schedule,
Sure.
And then I think from my point of view, whatever that I do is to know that everyone is at home, and then that's very important to me.
Sure. Thanks, man. Thanks. And I this is so important to me. I mean, the problem of fatherlessness, and especially for us as Black people, how many of our kids, most of us, even our generation, did not grow up without our fathers. And
that's one of the things that I make sure that my children, they will never lose it.
Sure. And speaking about growing up without a father, and I was just reflecting, going through. I mean, him, Pat Komafani, is reflecting on that story in his recently published book. And we're going to be having with him, I think, next month, a couple of weeks from now. And he's just written a comment, by the way, great modeling for Tando, your son Gobevu. Let's write your book.
I can see it as well. Thank you, Mr. Mafani. Lovely mesa.
So a lot of people and Black excellence. Somebody says a couple of comments. This seems to have resonated. If you don't compete with someone, you will go far. So profound. And then Stembele Maklane, which I personally know. I know him personally. Very gifted guy. I personally want to thank you for making me believing in myself as a Black man. You are really an inspiration. That's for you, Makhaya. And
I salute.
Yeah, and then of course there was that powerful punchline that you said, "I am leaving my name here." Wow, Madura, putting your name in that list, the sky is the limit. and Pet Kulati, wow, I like the innocence. I thought that was beautiful as well. I like the innocence and the enjoyment for the sake of having fun. I think that is what we should feel about our work. Whether we are paid or not, we just enjoy what we do. Great inspiration. And look, we can't read everything that has been written here. But the other thing that people, by the way, people don't know this. that look, it has come through in your conversation because you make a lot of reference to God, that you are a Christian, number one, that I'm your pastor as well. I mean, not pastor you. So watch what he's saying.
Yeah, good on you.
But talk to me. What does your relationship with God mean to you as somebody who's well known and in your career and even after your career, and how important is that?
I think the time that I enjoy the 7 Day Adventist, as a family boy, I think my parents were churchgoers,
Sure.
but the moment I moved to town and then I joined the Adventist, and then that became something different, and then it
Sure.
really opens up a different cup of tea. If you remember, I said to you in the beginning that my father, if I was doing the rituals,
Sure. Yes.
I will actually be doing that every weekend. But because I do not do it, and because of the scripture that I've wrote in the Bible in saying that abo bafileyo balele, ne?
Sure. Totally. Yeah.
Abeva, abeva, abanqanwa, ababoni.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that on its own, it really gave me a different idea when it comes to what you call ancestors,
Sure.
And then joining the 7 Day Adventist, Adventist, 7 Days Adventist. Yes, correct that. 7 Days Adventist. And understanding, the whole Bible thing and believing in God and how God has became, part of our lives. It really gave me a lot of power on believing that God is there, regardless of what. We can say everything we want to say about how we believe, and then from our point of view, I really believed God that He is someone who really look after us, and then I think from our point of view, where I am now, if He was not His blessings, I wouldn't have been where I am. I take it back in the old days and saying that if I didn't be at the place that God wanted me to be at that day that I was chosen to play cricket,
Sure.
I will have never been in a position that I am today. Talking to you, in actual fact, probably I would have been in an army or being a policeman. So those were things that I was looking at as a growing up person, and then I think the reason why all of those things, they were making sense to me, because I knew it that if I do not finish, school, or if I finish matric, there's one thing that I know for sure: I will never go to. Listen, can you see that my battery is dying? Eh?
Yeah. Yes.
It's 5% now.
We've got two options.
5% now.
We've got two options. You fetch the thingy, or we wrap up. You quickly fetch that.
Okay, let me quickly finish it. And then I think God created so many ways that everybody has to follow whatever path that is given to him. When the Bible says that everybody has his own path, and then I believe my one was this, and then I had to grab it, and then it was the only path that I can be successful at. And then that on its own, that's why I believe that God has a place for everybody. And then that's my belief right through in the world. That's one of the greatest things that I believe, that when I was crying when times were tough. He was someone who was tapping my shoulder and says, everything is going to be all right. No?
Sure.
There was no one else next to me. It was only him who would say everything will be okay. Yeah. And then he always gave me the good smile the following day. Sure. So he became my pillar and strength. The Bible I read every day, and then, we as a family as well, we pray every day. We don't go to bed without praying, so that on its own, it tells a lot about us as a family, because we are thankful, to God that he has made us, in so far. We can't say we walk this route on our own. No, that's a lie. He walked with us. We're just following in his footsteps.
That's true. That's all true. Thank you, man, for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. I am I don't know where the hour went. Okay, tell you what, let me say this from my heart. I don't know if it's your daughter. You are skewed now. You are sideways. Can you see? Makhaya. Oh, it's the battery. The battery seems to have, and then we will see if he's able to fix it. And but in any case, I mean, I don't know about you. I was quite inspired by that conversation, and all I wanted to tell him is that we as Africans, and we are very proud of his accomplishments, because his accomplishments are our accomplishments, and we continue to pray for him. I was going to tell him that. And look, we have to end it here. And thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you so much. I am so encouraged by the messages that I see written here. People that have been encouraged to pursue their own dreams, to pursue excellence as Africans, and Black people in particular. And like I said during the conversation, your dreams are valid. There's no limit. There's no limit. With you and God, there is nothing that you cannot do. There is absolutely nothing that you cannot do. Give your best. And I love this. I hope I'm not preachy when I say this. There is human effort and divine power combined together can move mountains. Let me put it like this. Do everything. Give your best in everything that you do. That project at work, your studies, give your best at everything you do, as if everything depends on you. And once you've done that, trust in God as if you did nothing. And may God bless you. And next week, by the way, we have somebody that has done exactly that. Professor L.T. Links, go Google him. He's done incredible work. He's got a huge heart. He has done incredible work. And I'm going to be having him, L.T. Links. Google him if you don't know him. You will enjoy the conversation. Once again, in the words of Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, remember Africa. May God bless you. Bye-bye.